guys, it's me, Stephanie, and I'm here with our daily Disney devotional. And we are on number 51. We're halfway through. We're still in Mexico, and now we're going to be going through the different lands. We're going to start with the Mexico Pavilion. Now that we've completed the Future World half of Epcot, so we are ready to venture over to the second half of the park. When I was a kid, this was the boring half. It just seemed too educational with no excitement or thrills. And I was happy to avoid it. Well, I guess I'm becoming one of those old people now because I really enjoy this half, which is known as the World Showcase. Additionally, to Disney's credit, they have gradually over the years made this area of the park into an appealing journey through various cultures with a variety of activities and options for all ages. I feel like there's a lot more alluring to even children now than it was during the decade when it first opened. We're going to use the next series of devotionals to travel around the world and talk about each land or country represented. The entire journey is a 1.2-mile walk through 11 different countries. One may choose to go either direction around the world, but we're going to go clockwise for our studies. We'll start in Mexico. The Mexico Pavilion is unique in that it is all encompassed in one building. It is not quite as spread out as the other World Showcase pavilions tend to be, although there is a lot packed into that one building. This pavilion was built with the park when it opened in 1982. It resembles a Mesoamerican pyramid with many steps that you may have seen in pictures or several locations throughout Mexico. Luckily, you do not have to climb all those steps to get inside, as most of them are fake and not for guest use, despite what at least one guest thought. More on that later. At the top of the pavilion, there is a hidden room that is one of the major control areas for illuminations, the nighttime closing shows of Epcot. Inside the pavilion, you will find the San Angel Inn, a restaurant that is based on another restaurant that has been operating in Mexico City for over 100 years. This is one of only 2 pavilions in the World Showcase that includes a ride. Although, at the time of this writing, there is another ride planned in the France Pavilion for the near future. Currently, the Grand Fiesta Tour is a simple boat ride that takes guests through Mexican culture as you follow the adventures of the 3 caballeros, Panchito, Jose, and the star of the show, Donald Duck. This version of the ride with the 3 ducks replaced El Rio de Tiempo, which means the river of time. This was the original ride that lasted until 2007 when it was updated. It was pretty much the same boat ride, but did not include the animations of the 3 caballeros. This ride was originally going to have an outdoor portion, but it did not get completed on time. Because they wanted to open the pavilion with the park in 1982, they had to cut up to 40% off the planned ride. We actually rode this for the very first time on our last trip. I had no idea there was a ride in the Mexico Pavilion. Granted, we do not do the World Showcase often, if at all. And I was so glad that we did this little ride in the Mexico Pavilion. We loved it. I thought it was awesome, awesome, awesome. As I mentioned earlier, the outside of this pavilion resembles a Mesoamerican pyramid with many steps. In November of 2015, a man decided to try and climb the pyramid. He was quickly detained and escorted from the park. If you look at the design of the building, it bears a slight resemblance to a structure in one of the famous stories of the Old Testament. Do you know the story to which I'm referring? In ancient Mesopotamia, the people used to build what were called ziggurats, huge step-like buildings used as temples to their gods. The Mexico Pavilion resembles this design. There's actually one of these ziggurats in the Bible. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I really don't know. Check out Genesis chapter 11 if you need a reminder of the story. In that chapter, the people attempt to build a giant step-like building all the way to God. They want to be equal with God and build this structure for all the wrong reasons. God foils their plan by creating languages and making it impossible for them to communicate. In Philippians 2:6, we read that even Jesus himself did not consider equality with God something to be grasped. Even Jesus knew he could never be equal with God. We should remember the same and respect the authority and the holiness of God. God is to be esteemed, feared, and loved, but we are not his equal. We are his children, his servants, and his creation. The Bible makes that very clear. Take some time to explore the Mexican Pavilion. Eat in the restaurant where you can sit by the water and watch the boats peacefully go by. It's a beautiful setting. Enjoy the fun boat ride with the three caballeros. Take some time to appreciate this unique and important country and learn about their culture. As you enter, note the design with the steep steps and pyramid shape. Don't try to climb them. It won't end well. It didn't end well in Genesis for the people trying to build a similar structure to God. Don't try to be God's equal or climb the steps to him. Don't boast in your relationship with God and appear to others to be anything but a humble servant. Respect that God is our Father and he is in charge. Have an attitude of humility towards him and his son, Jesus. That is the best way to grow closer to him and to rightfully be one of his children. That's awesome. Okay, bye you guys. Thank you for joining me today. I will see you tomorrow.